Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
People love Dave Nourie, and they always answer the phone when he calls. When we get him on Zoom, we ask him to confirm rumors.
Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go.
Out of the bowl and you'd land kind of outside the bowl and I forgot what you were doing, then you'd hop back into it.
Was it on the mini ramp or was it?
I'm pretty sure it was in the, you were coming out of a bowl, like a skate bowl almost.
It was the Abubaca twist.
Yeah, it could have been. Dude, I recently learned lawnmower tail taps too, to where you back peg lawnmower.
Oh, wow.
You don't hop or anything, bam. And just, that's been kind of a different trick because I always do the rocket taps, a lot of rocket stuff. So that's really like, every day I go to the park or go ride or something, I kind of set like what I meant earlier about Instagram is like, I kind of like set like a goal for the day for me, like to help push me to relearn something. And so a lot of it's been like a lot of vert stuff lately, and lip tricks and stuff like that. So yeah. Can't wait to get them fives back, dude.
Is there any trick that you want us to discover, like where it came from or who did it first? Or we always have questions that come up about.
Yeah, like people, like I know who came up with the tail whip. And
wait, who came up with the tail whip?
Well, from my understanding, Blyther did a tail whip on the ground first, and then Dominguez did it, if I remember right, but I think a foot came off when he landed, but I still give him credit for this. And the combi, Del Mar, tail whip 180 fly out when he was on Hutch. I'm pretty sure there was a sequence of that. And then the actual air was Joe Johnson. I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. We were in Wayne, New Jersey, 1988 AFA, and Joe Johnson came up in the stands and he's like, before pro practice, he told me he learned toe whip airs because I was real good friends with him because I grew up with Dennis and him and Dennis were bros. And a lot of people overheard and they're like, it's bullshit. And I was like, whatever, dude. I mean, Joe's not the kind of person that needs to lie to impress anybody. He was an amazing rider.
Yeah.
And he went out and practiced and he did that toe whip. And people were like, what? So Joe was the first toe whip air, Joe Johnson, and the first double as well.
Was that after he got the sponsor, the Raid? Because didn't he get a Raid sponsor, the Ant Killer?
Joe Johnson?
Yeah.
I don't remember. He was your teammate. He was on Hard. I don't know about the Raid thing. He might have been, probably.
Well, there was a rumor that you did have to watch some past episodes that he had ants in his pants when he made up the first tail whip.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So yeah, and then the double toe, whatever. But I mean, other tricks, I don't know, like I'm just trying to think, like, you got the flares and the 900 and the like 540s. I mean, who did the first 540? Was it Dominguez?
Woody Itzen.
Woody Itzen, that's right. Yeah.
Not necessarily just at the top of the ramp, but not out.
540 air.
Yep.
No, like a 540 bunny hop at the top of the court is what I remember.
Well, hold on a second. That's kind of splitting hairs because it's on a quarter pipe. Now, if it was undervert, does that still kind of count?
Well, did his tire touch?
Dominguez, man. What about Dominguez? He was doing them, testing them at like 7 feet out,
which is insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 900
style, then the pivot. Dominguez.
Okay, so that one's on the list, though. We're gonna have to find out just a little bit more of the origin of 540. Then where do we call that a true 540 air?
I always thought, I always thought it was Dominguez. He's a beast. All right, here's one: the fakie air.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm talking like fakie, like proper, like you know what I mean?
Like high. I remember. I'm a big fan of Mike Dominguez. I remember him doing them way out.
Yeah.
30 days. Here's what I was thinking about the other day. Michael would come out, pedal across that flat floor as hard as he could to an 8-foot transition with no vert, just a little bit of vert. And you know how quick he must have gone up that ramp? And then he would do all the things that he did. I was riding the 8-foot ramp the other day and I thought, oh my God, going that fast, hitting this small ramp is insane.
Yeah.
And he would just sky. So I
Okay,
remember
here's a question.
fakies.
I agree with you. Here's a question for you. Abubaca was Wilkerson,
Wilkerson.
but it's different than than a wedge ramp, because dudes were kind of doing Abubacas, weren't they, on wedge ramps? Go up and come in.
Right.
Oh, like a
Vert
fakey
on
kick
vert.
turn.
Didn't
that
Haro
didn't
do
turn.
those? Right?
Yep.
But they're two different tricks. So that's like saying a 540 pivot or 540 5-foot out. There's a completely different spin. You know what I mean?
That's
totally
true.
different. Totally different.
That's true.
Yeah. It's just once you start messing with the transition, it's you know, we all know it's just different. You know,
And
it's just-
you're way above the ground and you're dealing with vert and that edge. It's a whole different thing. It didn't Wilkerson do a Miami hopper drop in
and pedal
Yes.
picker.
And pedal picker drop.
and the first nose drop in, right? From the
Yeah.
front. He did.
Like
I mean,
backwards,
I even
right?
did a cherry picker drop in. 'Cause
yeah.
we had cherry picker drop ins too back then.
That's insane, right? To think that
Yeah.
long ago. Because that's scary as hell.
Yeah, everything because they used to do 270 hop in too. Everything was from like a dead stop before you actually, because I think it was just because the ramps were small, they haven't developed into a wider and, you know, bigger decks and stuff like that. You know, but you were there during all the beginning of it, RL. You remember any tricks you saw firsthand? First time someone did something?
Well, I remember Wilkerson gonna drop in on his, front wheel was on the edge. And he kept saying he was gonna do it. And I was looking at it, I'm going, that's not gonna work, man. You don't have enough transition because you're gonna come in. And then he did it and he pulled it off. And then he got up there on a Miami hopper and I said, no way. And he did it. So I've never put anything past him. And I just remember, Dominguez and Blyther just skying. And I remember Blyther would learn tricks in his run. And I'm like, oh, that's new. And he's like, yeah, that was the first time, in the middle of his run. So
That's great.
I always heard that Dominguez made up cans too. I don't know.
I heard that.
I'm not surprised, but I always thought it was Dominguez. Who made up the no-footed can?
I thought that was Dominguez
thought-
as well,
I
but
thought it
somebody
was
said
Dominguez.
Josh White.
Yeah, that was
he
at
was
Pipeline. He introduced it at Pipeline. It was like 80. I know that he didn't wear leathers. He wore like black, like a dress shirt and black jeans. And so it must have been like 86. Not sure the year actually.
Okay, another one. No, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good. We got a list of.
Okay. Who did the first bench ride?
the what?
Oh, I heard this weekend.
The first bench ride that I know of that I seen first do it.
What's a
I'll-
bench?
Like a wall ride, but on a fence.
Oh, right.
I think it's Hugo, right?
Absolutely, a pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay,
heard
so
that fence.
Hugo at Pipeline. But then there was
He did the
He
butt plant
Phillip.
too. Remember the butt plant he used to do?
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Hey everybody, so here's the time. This is when we're gonna come in and do the Flatland Fuel $20 gift certificate giveaway. There's gonna be a code that flashes on the screen. Go, write this down and go immediately to Flatland Fuel. Buy something, enter this code. It will be a total pain in the ass. It's like 20 characters long. Go ahead and get your money and buy some bike parts from Flatland Fuel because they're sponsoring the show now.
All right, at
So-
Pipeline, they would go into the big bowl. They carve through the complete, what do you call that?
Full pipe.
The full pipe, right? Pump out and land on a 5-foot fence, like a
So
foot
sick.
plant, and then hop back in.
Wow.
I mean, now you see guys doing it like the fence is like 10 feet away from the ramp. And they land on their back wheel and pull themselves back in.
They go foof, ice, tooth, no
Yeah.
foot, fakey.
Yeah. Back then, that was really impressive to me to see him do that.
I
Eddie
still
was-
have my VHS tape of King of the Skate Parks, the actual tape. I have it. And not too long ago, I pulled it out and sent a little clip to Dominguez because he was getting interviewed.
Yeah.
I think he might have been on RO on that one. But yeah.
Okay, RL, can you answer that question? What trick are you working on? Are you wanting to bring back? And if there's any, I mean, we've covered a lot of tricks we can research, but any other trick you want us to?
Well, all I can do is where I'm at, and that, you know, we've been trying to build a 26 that we can go on ride outs on, but that you can freestyle on, and it's been torture. So when I went to this thing this weekend, I was on 22, and I kind of got pumped on the 22 and the 20, and so I just put my S&M back together, and I'm going to go back through all my tricks now that I've been doing on my 20-inch, which is going to be a lot easier because it's hard to do a hang 5 on a 26.
You have a lot of tricks you're working on the 26 though.
Yeah,
Front wheel 540.
front wheel 540 on the 26. And it's really hard with that sloped out head angle, you know. And I was getting hang 5s and like, I don't even know the names of them. Kind of some new stuff. You know, I've looked at my old stuff and I'm like, man, the old stuff that we used to do was kind of hard. It's not that easy, you know, like, especially you've been out of it for a while. So I like rolling tricks, you know, like a half flash into, I don't even know the name of it, but that's a shitty answer, huh?
You have a whole list of tricks you're working on. What do you work on in the garage every day?
Well, it's like, it says like, you know, 360 on the back wheel, forward, come out backwards. You know, I don't have names.
Like links, yeah, linking tricks then.
Right, but we've been, since I got my 22, skate parks have become very fun. Like oververt, like 4-foot verts and riding up there over canyons. I'm learning peg grinds. I never did peg grinds before. And I love to jump, so I'm learning jumps too, you know. The jumps are killing me, but I just love big jumps. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
everything.
Joe, I know you've got some crazy combo link, no-handed switch.
Rolling, he's got the rolling Gumby. Sick.
It's the
Yeah.
rolling, Gumby pivot, Gumby swivel. I'm still on my whiplash. I'm still my whiplash thing. I've got up to 5. My goal is 10 before the end of the year.
Wait, just let me interrupt you. So just give these guys an idea of what your regiment is and your training. So when you say you're learning whiplashes, tell us a little bit about what that is. So you start a session and?
Well, so I have my warm up, and then I do at a minimum 100 attempts, and I keep score, and I send my consistency scores to Marty Copa, and then he looks at the scores, how I'm trending up or trending down, and we'll tweak it. And so now I lost, you know how sometimes you just develop a bad habit, you keep doing something over and over. So I went from 5 whiplashes down to like 1 and 2. And so now I'm doing whiplash to just step over hang 10 and Messiah, just so that I can like rework and fix that bad habit. But we're here today. I was doing whiplash, hitchhiker, then cross throw, and whip back to Messiah, and then whiplash out. So it's all just been whiplash, and doing it like in different combos, just so that I can fix my brain circuitry. I was so stoked. Like it took me months. I get up to 5, and then something happens. I think I hurt my leg is what happened. I broke my chain at York. And my leg got pinched in between the wheel and the frame, and that was just enough downtime to break the habit. So I got to get back into it.
I just love hearing the different styles of riders, right? Like, so Joe goes out there and he has like a spreadsheet of the number of times, and he has Marty like critiquing it. You know, that I've never done anything close to that. I've always just gone out and ride and have fun, and then something kind of comes up to it. And I imagine like with Rick too, you just go out, you find a spot, you film it for your Instagram, and then maybe you say, oh, I'm going to try one-handed grinds now.
Well, today it's like that, but back when a lot of people, now new kids don't understand that Flatland was like the most popular thing at one time, because people didn't have ramps and stuff, or you know, or a lot of the sport was California based when I grew up. And so, you know, you're not getting noticed and stuff like that, but there was way more Flatlanders. But to comment on what you're writing down stuff, that's what me and Dennis used to do. But the way we did it is we would get a trick 10 out of 10. And then once you got it 10 out of 10, you would do 5 for 5 to keep it consistent. So we would spend hours with not even talking in underground parking lots. And like, imagine being like 8 for 8 on a dump truck, you know, and then you blow the 9th one. We'd have to start all the way back over at 1.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was
That's
brutal. But you know
brutal.
what? It taught us to be like consistent, and that consistency helped us with like being able to adapt. Oh, you get it? Yeah, you're way more hardcore than I am, than we were. But we had these little notes that we would write, and we would be like, because, you know, growing up with Dennis, he was, you know, everybody knows what he's done in the sport and being, you know, the competitor and what he's done Flatland and stuff. So that I was like the dude that always wanted to ride with him. So I just kind of learned a lot what he was doing, and he would do that. So then I started to do that, and then it paid off. But I appreciate what you're doing. I get it, because you got to like set those goals, you know? So.
And so that guy that you send him to, he's holding you responsible, right? So you don't want to let him down type of thing. That's why you send your tricks there.
Accountability.
It's my accountability partner. Yes.
We used to do the same thing. We were trying to get over the nerves of when you go into a contest and all of a sudden your legs are different. It's like a whole different thing, right? So we'd be practicing at the beach, and I remember I was practicing my routine and they were throwing Coke cans and trash cans at me, screaming, doing anything they could. Didn't make any difference, but it was fun.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, we would practice with Nerf sniper rifle.
Oh, nice.
And we'd give them to kids. And it was so funny is like I go around and just the kid sitting there, and it was a young kid. And like I could feel myself tense up, and I was like, wait a second. I just felt the ground shift, and I know that the ground didn't shift.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, Joe,
It's true.
someone wanted to join the call with us here.
Rick, Thorne, and my friends at factOrFreestyyle. It's GMC here. Hate to tell you, but I will not be participating because I'm busy as hell. And regarding the Fufanu, Dave, yes, I invented the Fufanu, but its original name was, wait for it, the Abubaca Twist. Peace out. Have a good show, guys.
Did you guys hear that?
The Abubaca Twist.
Abubaca Twist. Do you know that name? Because everyone else calls it a Fufanu.
I've never heard of that.
Hold up. A Abubaca twist is you come out, land on the back wheel, but you twist coming back in.
Yeah.
To the forward, right?
So
Okay.
Dennis says he made that trick up, but apparently this has been kind of a theme that we've run into where the magazines will change the name. Now, I don't know where, Dennis, we have to find out more about who called it the Fufanu, but we had Marty Cooper, who talked about doing a pedaling unicycle, which is on the top tube, over the top tube, pedaling in circles. And then Mark Losi named it Time Machine. And Marty, as a kid, was like, well,
Blender.
Sorry, Blender. Yeah, not Time
Yep.
Machine, Blender. So apparently there are some name changing going on here behind the scenes.
I can see Dennis doing that trick. That kind of fits his style. In fact, I'm sure I've seen him do that.
For a short while, dudes were trying to call Abubaca's blunts because they were trying too hard to change things around. I mean, you look, the same goes with like the half cab on a bike. You know, that's been a big debate in BMX and with Caballero and skating and him, you know, disagreeing. And in my mind, I'm like, isn't it a zag nut? Didn't Augusta do that shit? You know, like, you know, I've always just called it a 180 to keep your own identity and your own roots with, you know, so to go changing names just kind of like sporadically, I've never really agreed with. It is what it is, who makes it up, you know, what it's always been, you know. That's how I look at it.
Oh, I'll tell you one. So Scott Powell actually gets really bent out of shape about this. Dave Nourie BMX 2.
Okay.
What did they call the nose pick tail whip? They called it a whiplash.
Wait, and the video game or
In the video game,
oh,
they
that's
called
probably
it a whiplash.
wow. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's probably not on Dave's part though. That's probably some programmer at
Yeah, right.
THQ like that's it's whipping. You know, like
It's a whiplash.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's pretty funny.
Okay,
But yeah.
I got a factor freestyle for URL. Rick Thorne went to Ninja High School, yet he never appeared in any of Eddie Roman's videos. Is that fact or freestyle?
All right, there we go. That's another tight 20, this time with Rick Thorne and RL and Dylan. There's so much more that we have through all of these awesome interviews. We're doing just 20 minutes at a time to get through the whole backlog. We're going to start mixing up the timeline. We're going to go back. We're going to do Matt Wilhelm, because we only took a Matt Wilhelm's episode. What we took was the Gumby Vendetta, but there was so much more that came out of Matt Wilhelm, and we're going to go back and we're going to do that one now. Tell us what you like.